Discover why a 22-year-old kid who could barely afford a Happy Meal has exactly what you desperately need to unlock huge Forex riches. Hey, you're about to learn how to effortlessly create multiple new money-pumping revenue streams with binary options, period. Unlike other sites run by those so-called gurus, I'm going to give you something you can actually use. No more overpriced crap-ass do-nothing trading robots. No more outdated, overused, and useless tips, tricks, and techniques. No more of those jacked up insider secrets that never worked in the first place. This is totally different. But before I show you how to tap into your own old faithful geyser of Forex riches, it's important for you to know. I'm not here to just talk about making money. I'm going to show you how to mint it yourself. Look, what I'm about to reveal is not fully automated. It does not work at the click of a button, and it does not make you money while you're sleeping. The reality is, nothing can do that. And if you're like most people looking for a way to make money online, you already know this all too well. So if you're hoping for some kind of magical fairy dust you can sprinkle on your computer and wait for it to sprout you money, you're flat out of luck. But if you're serious about cashing in with binary options, and you have a couple extra minutes a day to invest in your success, and you can follow a few ridiculously simple instructions, then you're in for a real cash blasting treat. Need proof? Anyone can Photoshop a fake stat sheet, but here's a little of what you can look forward to when you trust your gut and go with the only proven binary options leader. Yes, this is the kind of money that was made every month like atomic clockwork, using just one itty-bitty trading strategy. A strategy you won't even have to learn to start cranking out cash like this. From John Thomas. Dear John, can't I just catch a break already? Does it have to be so freaking confusing? Why do I always seem to be one step behind the pack? Hey, I get it. I've been there. I feel your pain. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is promising you the sun, the moon, and the whole flippin' solar system with binary options. But the only ones jumping in their rockets and making any cash is them. And even when you know they're probably spewing total garbage, it's hard to resist their crazy guarantees of making millions overnight, isn't it? But you know better, don't you? Because it doesn't matter how many emails those good-for-nothing frauds spam you with. It doesn't matter if they wrap up their crap in a different package and slap a pretty pink bow on it. And it doesn't matter how many fake pictures of expensive cars and fat cat mansions they paste on their sites. The fact is, you know 99.9% of all binary trading products out there today are 100% worthless. Oh sure, they'll tell you that their old dried up programs are pure trading gold. But when you get down to it, it's all stinky hot air. They're just out to make a quick buck on poor suckers who don't know any better. You've been around the block, so I'm sure I'm not telling you anything new. But that was before. This is now. Today, everything is going to change. Today, you're going to have an opportunity to get in the ground floor of something that will totally transform your financial future. And get this, it's going to let you stick it to those so-called experts and inside traders once and for all. So feel free to thank some of your lucky stars, because you're about to see how easy it can be to finally quit that day job for real and hotwire the entire Forex market with a few quick clicks. Can you even imagine how fantastic your life is about to get? What if I told you there was a way to force the binary options market to flood your bank account with an unstoppable tidal wave of guaranteed revenue? A little-known way that doesn't require you have a shred of know-how and zero previous experience. A time-tested and proven way that doesn't have anything to do with robots, alerts, signals, or any of that other trading jargon BS. A virtually risk-free way that you can use to build your own fortune, even if you only have a few dollars to get started with. I'm talking about a secret backdoor, but 100% ethical and legal way to turn that spare change under your sofa cushions into cold hard cash. How much? How about $10,000? Or $20,000, or even $30,000 every single day. Hey, and all you need is the ability to follow the easiest instructions ever and a computer. Sounds pretty crazy and far-fetched, huh? But I give you my solemn word. By good fortune, a bit of luck, and some hard work, I discovered the holy grail of binary options trading. Hey, my name is John Thomas, and I'm one of the most successful binary options traders you've never heard of. And guess what? Even though I earn more money in a week than most high-profile traders make in a year, I don't have any interest in becoming one of those gurus. But I didn't used to have it this good. See, I got my degree in computer science, but up until recently, I was an overworked and underpaid intern on Wall Street. I was a pretty talented programmer, but I had a dream of being a big-time trader. I was more like a secretary, janitor, gopher, but I figured one day I'd move up the ranks. I didn't figure on the crash, and I didn't count on getting laid off either. And while the rest of us were watching our finances hit the fan, all of my former bosses, those big shot investment bankers, hedge fund kids, and high-powered traders you heard about on the news, were still making tons of money every day. It was the worst economic crisis in 100 years, a total financial crap storm. But these guys were cashing in, mostly trading binary options. So I did what anyone would do who had been on the inside like I was. I copied everything I had seen these traders doing. I'd been taking notes, so I was ready to have my own payday. Heck, Wall Street was moving around $3.2 trillion every day, so I figured if I just did what they did, I would make money too, right? Wrong. I should have known that a guy like me, who didn't have much money to invest, was nothing to the market. I nearly lost everything trying to figure out how to trade binary options. And I spent the rest of what I had on every get-rich-quick Forex gimmick on the web. I'd been at the very heart of the financial world, and now here I was up late at night in my PJs buying software, ebooks, webinar series, and every magic bullet, Forex gadget, and gizmo I could find to make money. Looking back, I can't believe I fell for all that hype and nonsense. But at the time, I was desperate and I needed money fast. However, I never would have guessed that I'd bump into my financial savior at Starbucks. It was a cold and rainy day. I was camped out at Starbucks. I'd bought one of their 4-hour coffees, where you buy a cup of their cheapest generic coffee and piggyback on their internet for as long as you can before they give you the stink eye. I was looking at job listings on Monster and CareerBuilder.com. I figured I'd put my college degree to work, but there were absolutely no programming jobs out there. So unless I wanted to be a pizza delivery driver, seriously, there was just nothing I could do. And I didn't own a car, so that wasn't even an option. That's when it happened. The barista wasn't looking, so I'd gotten up to refill my coffee from that little pump thermos thing. I guess I really wasn't paying attention. As I turned around, I bumped into an older man who was standing right behind me. I guess bumped is putting it nicely. I actually spilled my entire cup of coffee all over his white shirt. But instead of yelling at me, this guy laughed. Instead of getting pissed off, he asked me if I was okay. This kind of behavior is not normal in New York City. I expected he was going to take a swing at me or at least curse me up and down. Nope, he simply picked up a couple napkins and daubed off the excess coffee. Then he turned to me and said, "Son, I think we need to talk." And this is exactly where a lousy, no-good rainy day turned into the most important day of my life. See, this gentleman, who was asked I don't use his real name, so let's just call him Agent X, said he'd seen me scanning the classifieds and he wondered if I might be interested in earning a few bucks. He said some of his help was on vacation and he needed somebody to run some errands and do a few simple chores for him over the next few days. After he told me what he was paying, which was even more than I made as a gopher on Wall Street, I was all in. I wasn't going to turn down the easy money. The next thing I knew, I was in his penthouse apartment, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The man gave me his address and told me to meet him there later that day. When the doorman put me in the private elevator to the top floor, I had a feeling things were about to get a bit crazy. So when the man's personal butler opened the door and invited me in, I almost lost it. This guy's mansion in the sky was insane. I've never seen anything like it. The amount of money that this place oozed out of every nook and gold-plated cranny was mind-boggling. I was trying to keep from drooling when the man entered the room. He had a list of things he needed me to do in the city and a few chores around the house, and I got right to work. I was shredding some old documents when I couldn't keep my big mouth shut anymore. I know it probably wasn't the proper thing to do, but I had to know how this dude made his money. So against my better judgment, I just asked him. He chuckled and looked me right in the eye. Then without any ego at all, he said, "I made my millions on Wall Street, but I made my tens of millions trading binary options." I couldn't believe it. What are the odds? I'd spent the last 6 months draining my bank account to near zero, trying to make even a few bucks doing it. And now here I'd accidentally bumped into somebody who made millions trading binary options. I was sure it was none of my business, but I had to know how he made so much money trading binary options. So again, I just blurted it out. I told the man about how I'd gotten my degree in computer science, but how I wanted to make it on Wall Street until I was canned. And then how I tried to make money trading binary options using all the get-rich-quick schemes out there. I was brutally honest about how badly I'd failed, too. I know I didn't have any business asking, but I wanted to know what the secret to his success was. To this day, I don't know what caused him to do it, but without saying a word, the man led me down a hallway where he unlocked a gigantic door. Before I saw what was inside, I heard the humming. The room was filled with computers. Everywhere I looked, from floor to ceiling, there were stacks of computers. You want to know my secret, he said? It's all right here. And in the 4 other offices that each have at least 4 times as many computers as you see here, and no less than 25 seasoned traders manning the screens at all hours of the day and night. In other words, if you want to do it like one of the big boys of binary options, you'll need to have real firepower. Now I understand why I could never hope to duplicate what my old bosses were doing. They still had access to their banks of server farms, to their high-powered trading floors, to the trillions of dollars around the world. All I had was a crappy old compact computer with a pair of busted speakers, a few lousy bucks, and a big reality check. Now that I knew the real truth, how could I ever hope to make it? I think the man could tell I was feeling defeated. That's when he did something I never would have expected. The man told me he liked my spirit. I think he used the word chutzpah. He told me he hoped that what he just showed me wouldn't stop me from trading. He wanted me to see that if I wanted to succeed, I could not do it like the big boys. That was about a year and a half ago. Since that time, I went from barely being able to pay my rent and put food on the table, literally, and having to take jobs from complete strangers who I spilled coffee to living a life I couldn't have ever imagined in my wildest dreams. I'll let my actual personal bank accounts tell the story. See, I told you that everything was going to change, and it did. I have the man to thank for everything. By sharing one silly little trading secret with me, almost too tiny to call a strategy, the man unlocked a world of wealth for me. It required almost no money to start, which was good since I didn't have any, and it proved how worthless all those other programs with their robots, alerts, and signals really are. If you'd gotten your hands on this secret when I did, imagine being able to pay off that student loan or save for your kids' college. Walk into your local Range Rover dealer and putting down cash to pay for the latest model. Having plenty of money to totally renovate your house. Or better yet, upgrade your zip code with a multi-million-dollar mansion. This and much more would have all been possible. Am I telling you all this just to put it in your face? Nope, I'm telling you this because I'm so excited for you. Why? Because you're about to have one of those life-changing moments that you'll never forget. And you don't even have to spill any coffee on anybody to make it happen. I'm talking about never having to live paycheck to paycheck again. Never having to tread water just to make it through another month. Putting an end to the stress, the frustration, and all the crap that comes along with just getting by. Because that's all about to end for you. It's going to feel especially great if you have been duped like I was by all those binary option trading programs and software catastrophes that kept you up at night. You can have a better life. You can make a change for the best. You can have it all. So what's this all about? You probably knew that hedge fund and international banks basically own the binary market, right? For every $1,000 that gets pumped through the market, these big boys own $800 of it. But would you believe they're not actually trying to make a profit from binary market itself? See, most of these huge banking and financial institutions are cashing in on the service fees they make when they move big sums of money for other global companies. And this is exactly what trips up so many everyday traders. I would have never seen it unless the man had spelled it out for me. Most of us average Joe traders do one of two things. Number one, we follow what the banks are doing. This is a guaranteed way to lose because the banks are only interested in making their service fees, not on what the larger market implications are. And number two, We could care less about the banks, and we try to use those robots, alerts, and signals to try to zero in on what currency pairs are going to do. Are they trending, ranging up or down, and so on? We trick ourselves into thinking that our expensive software is going to be able to compete with the big boys. Oh, how wrong we are. No matter which of these two paths you're on, it's a recipe for disaster. But there is another way. The man called this third way the freeloader method. Unlike the banks and those so-called experts who try to outwit the market with their crap-ass programs, the freeloader strategy doesn't make wild predictions or unsubstantiated forecasts. The freeloader technique allows you to follow in the footsteps of the actual moves the world's most influential money movers and traders are making every day. Zero theory, no guesswork, no speculation. Once you know where the biggest trades are going to happen, which you can determine using a process called bank order flow, you are on the inside. When you get ahead of the curve, knowing what's going to happen before it happens, you've just hot-wired binary options. You've just given yourself a priceless advantage over just about everybody else. When you have the freeloader strategy working for you, you will be unstoppable. Plus, best of all, there's nothing illegal or unethical about it. And as long as people are still trading binary options, it's guaranteed to work flawlessly. But how do you find out what the banks are going to do before they do it? Good for you. Your question shows you're one step ahead of me. As you guessed it, banks don't tend to announce to the world when they're going to trade on any given day. As a result, you'll find out what the banks do after they've already done it. And by then, there's very little money to be made, if any. Because if everybody else already knows what happened, you've got no leverage. But thankfully for you, the man told me there's a little-known tell that exposes what banks are going to do before they do it. Contrary to popular belief, the seemingly chaotic trading market is filled with predictability, he shared. When you know what you're looking for, you can get a dummy-proof lock on what the market is going to do. According to the man, it all goes back to a mathematician by the name of Benoit Mandelbrot. He was the original mastermind that found repeatable patterns within the apparent chaos of the commodities market. As the man explained, Mandelbrot tirelessly studied trading data and learned that if you applied certain filters to what you're looking at, the puzzle, the chaos, would almost magically put itself together. When you could see the patterns, you could master the market. And when you can master the market, you can make money, and lots of it. The amazing thing is this is as true today as it was over 80 years ago. But how am I supposed to understand chaos theory? The great thing is you don't have to. See, on that very same day I spilled coffee on him, the man gave me a crumpled up bunch of paper. They had confidential, stamped in red across the top of each page. In these pages, you'll find the results from a highly secret study conducted by the most elite banks and financial institutions in the world. It proves that Mandelbrot was right. I suggest you take a very close look at them and see if there's anything you can do with your knowledge of trading and your background in computer science to change your fortune. I didn't waste any time. At first, the document was way over my head. But after reading and rereading it and doing a ton of extra research, I got it. It made sense. I could see clearly. It was like I could see the pattern within the chaos. And that's when my life changed for the second time. You don't have to know a thing about chaos to cash in. It was a Wednesday morning. The sun was shining. I'd spent the last few months coding 24 hours a day. I'd created and tested a program I called Binary Mastermind. I designed it to allow anybody to unlock the power of everything the man had explained to me. When I showed the man what I'd done, he just smiled. Then he laughed. Then he said, "I knew there was something about you, John Thomas. From that very first moment I saw you in Starbucks, I just knew you were different and special. And now you've proven it. I'm so proud of you." Finally, he left me with these words. "All I ask from you is that you go pay it forward." Announcing Binary Mastermind. What can Binary Mastermind do for you? Clearly, you've been able to see what it's done for my bank account. And this is just a small sample of the money that is flowing in every trading day. You'll trade like you know the future, because you can tell what the market is going to do before it happens. When you have what you need to reliably predict how the market is moved, you are in control. You get to decide how much money is made. You get to play and beat the big boys. So how do you get your hands on Binary Mastermind? Hold your horses. Binary Mastermind is not actually for sale. You heard me correctly. You could offer me $1 million to get your hands on this system, and I wouldn't even think twice about it, especially since I can make that in a heartbeat. See, I swore to the man I wouldn't ever reveal the guts of how Binary Mastermind works to anybody. It just wouldn't be fair to the trust he and I developed. But he did ask me to pay it forward, right? So I came up with a way to get you the same results if you had Binary Mastermind yourself, but I made it way more affordable and a ton easier. I'm allowing a yet-to-be-determined number of motivated traders to piggyback on the Binary Mastermind system. What does this mean? Number one, I operate the Binary Mastermind entirely on my own servers. Believe me, I've upgraded from that old compact to a big bank of servers to help supercharge my entire system. Number two, you install a small snippet of independent code on your computer that allows you to see a mirror image of what's happening with Binary Mastermind. Number three, at the exact time when my system makes a trade, it will alert you to make the same trade too. So ultimately, you don't get all the confusing and complex code I wrote to crack the market open. You just get the convenient trade notices delivered straight to your PC. You just make the trades and watch the numbers add up. If that sort of hands-off success doesn't work for you, then Binary Mastermind isn't right for you. But if you're ready to cash in without having to be stuck to your computer all day, every day, Binary Mastermind is the perfect solution. Or if you're one of those emotional traders who is always swinging wildly depending on whether you're gaining or losing, Binary Mastermind is the optimal answer. Since it eliminates all the guesswork, you just do as instructed and make the trades and enjoy the benefits. Okay, so what's the investment going to cost me? As you can imagine, it was difficult to figure out the right price for Binary Mastermind. My colleagues said I should charge thousands for this guaranteed access. I know it's more than worth it, but since I'm not looking to get rich, but I am looking to pay it forward, I decided to keep the price as low as possible. I want to help people who are in the same boat I was in. That is, not a lot of money, tired of getting burnt, ready to tap into the money you deserve. So you're not going to pay thousands. In fact, you're not going to even pay remotely close to that. If you act right now, your one-time investment is going to be a ridiculously low $47. That's right, for the same cost as dinner and a movie, you'll be treating yourself to the most powerful way to trade binary options better than a pro. But you'll have to ask fast. I like being the good guy, but I'm honestly not sure how many traders I'm going to let in on this deal. I can tell you it's not going to be around forever. And really, when it's only $47, how can you lose? Especially when you learn that you're fully protected by my 60-day no questions asked 100% money-back guarantee. There's a reason that Binary Mastermind is the #1 way for people with zero experience to make money trading binary options online. And that's because the system works. But don't take my word for it. Order Binary Mastermind today. Then take 60 days to check out everything it has to offer. If you change your mind and decide that now isn't the right time for you to start making money trading binary options, then simply request a refund. No questions asked. Hurry up. Time is running out. As I mentioned, I'm only going to let a handful of traders get in on this incredible deal. I'm not sure how many of you I'm going to let in the doors, but if you want to get surefire trades sent directly to your computer every single trading day, you need to act now to make this happen. All you have to do to get started is enter your email address and click the big button below that reads Download Now. It's quick and easy, and 100% guaranteed. I know you'll make the smart choice and won't let this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity pass you by. So I'll look forward to meeting you on the inside. To your unlimited success, John Thomas, creator, Binary Mastermind. P.S. If you do nothing, what's going to change? Are any of those robots, trading programs, alerts, or so-called experts going to do anything different than they already have? Are you going to continue to waste your money on products and programs that never worked and never will? Or are you going to try to continue to do it all on your own? You do not have to reinvent the wheel. In fact, with Binary Mastermind, you get the wheel, the turbocharged engine, and all the extras. Everything you need to make binary options pay you. PPS. Here's the scoop. If the big boys of trading get wind of what I'm doing here, they'll do everything in their power to shut down this website. If the industry insiders find out that I'm unlocking the back door to their private good old boys club, they'll be all over me. So if I even get the slightest hint that they're on to me, I'll close the doors myself. I want to make sure all my members are safe and secure and taken care of. Once you're in, you're in. The only thing you've got to worry about is not getting in at all. I'd hate it if you waited even just one day and then came back to find out the site was no longer operating. Since you're 100% protected by my money-back guarantee, there is zero risk to you. Plus, you'll have 60 full days to try everything out for yourself. The proof is in the pudding. You either will make money or you won't. If you don't, what did you lose? Nothing. If you do, and you will, this will be the smartest decision you've ever made. So click that big Download Now button. If you don't see a page like this, I'm still accepting new enrollees, and you're good to go. If you do see that page, I'm sorry you missed out. Perhaps go spill a cup of coffee on somebody at your local coffee shop, and you'll have the life-changing experience I did. Come join me as a freeloader today.